No. Listen. I don't think as a father you should disown your kid because of what they turn out to be. That's not their real plan. Do you think I wanted to be on OnlyFans the rest of my life? Absolutely. Once again, interrupting me, like I just said. So if you want me to finish my statement and respect me as an adult, that would be great. So anyway, my dad accepted me as his daughter. Yes, I was supporting him financially. Was that right that he told me and actually encouraging me to stay on OnlyFans? Absolutely not. I was saying it was wrong for you to disown your child just because of their life choices. You said that you would literally stop talking to them. And how right is that as a father to guide your child when the Bible literally says, train up a child in the way that they should go? But you said if your daughter did OnlyFans, you would completely disown her. So how is what you would do biblical?
All we were discussing right now was that when we had a previous conversation on the Whatever podcast, by your own admission, everything you said to me potentially was a lie.
About
Perhaps
what?
Not everything you said, stop, Nala, just let me finish and then I'll let you talk, okay? Perhaps not everything you said to me was a lie. Perhaps not everything you said to me was a lie, but by your own admission, if you're playing a character and I shouldn't trust anything you say, then I assume everything you told me was a lie until I get it clarified otherwise. All I've been doing is just asking you clarification questions. You have been spurting out and upset because you feel like it's condemnation. I haven't condemned you for anything. We've just barely even started having a conversation.
I called you a Satanist.
You literally called me a Satanist and a prostitute. In no way, shape, or form was I a I mean, okay, so I understand that showing your body online is like selling yourself. Understood. But in no way, shape, or form.
Online. What are you talking about?
Did I not just admit that? Like,
yeah,
what do you have a problem with?
By any metric, that's prostitution. What are you talking about?
Okay, but like by
that's crazy because I can't believe you talk to women like that. But like,
hang on. Your wife called me and it's incorrect for me to call her.
No, it's incorrect. It's incorrect for both of you.
Oh, okay, but only I need the correction, right, sir?
Well, you are the man, and you are supposed to.
Oh, I see.
You are supposed to talk to a woman with respect.
Are Christian women supposed to be calling other Christian men?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
So all night when you've been throwing the F word around, that was okay.
Hang on, just to make sure I got this right. When there's a provocation my way, the correction must come to me, never to your wife.
Well, I'm speaking to you man to man, and I'll speak with her after.
And I'm speaking to you man to man. You need to correct your fucking wife's attitude.
Well, watch your language again.
All right, y'all. Nyla Ray was on the Whatever podcast. Once again, I think this is really where a lot of people came to know Nyla Ray because she has some crazy things to say. Prior to giving her life to Christ, she has some very crazy things to say. So, a lot of people were shocked when she came out and said that she was repenting and going in the other direction to seek Jesus Christ. And now she's back on this podcast and she's getting pressed by Andrew Wilson on her conversion to Christianity, because a lot of people in the comments are suspecting that it's not genuine. They're suspecting that she's using it just to get something, fame, something. I don't know. So let's watch. A lot of people in the comments said that they couldn't get through this podcast because it was so terrible just all around. I don't necessarily know what that means, but let's watch this clip. Nyla versus Andrew Wilson on converting to Christianity.
It is, you get to...
Someone donated $200.
Okay.
Yes, do not talk about fruits of the Spirit if you did not give back all of that money.
Ooh, can I please talk on this?
Wait, do you still have, question really quick, do you still have someone, thank you for the TTS, do you still have your Lamborghini Urus?
No, I don't. I sold everything. I sold my house, I sold my cars, I sold all the designer things I had.
If you wanted to throw the Lambo my way, I'll take a Lambo.
Yeah.
I will also take a Lambo.
For free? I'd love to hit on this topic. So many people are like, you're not Christian unless you give back all the money. Let me break down the money for you. So number one, I was living in California while I was making this money. California tax is ridiculously insane. Only takes what, 20%? Only 25% of what you make. It didn't matter how much of what I made my gross income that got... So my gross income got taxed 25%. So 25% of that got taken out. Then the tax I pay in California. Then the creator people that I was with took 50%. The agency took 50% of what I made. So you're left with all of that. Whatever's left out of all of that taxed. It's not like I just got $9 million. All of that got taxed 3 ways, and then whatever was left got sent to me. So, and no, you are not required, and nowhere in the Bible does it say, so there was this one man that Jesus told to sell all his belongings to and follow him. There was one man. That is not a stipulation for all Christians to sell everything that you have and then go follow Christ. If Christ told me to sell everything, which I've already sold everything, and follow him, I will. However, giving up all your money is not a requirement to be able to follow Christ. So if you're not a Christian or you are a Christian and you're saying this, you need to get that out of your head. Because if God specifically told me, like reached down and told me, you know what, you need to be homeless in order to follow me, I'd be like, you know what, I know you'll provide for me no matter what, I'll be homeless. But I do not feel called to do that. Regardless of that, I have sold everything I own. I literally drive a Jeep now and I live in South Carolina. So what do you got to say,
okay.
Andrew? I'm really, I'm so intrigued.
I'm just gonna follow up on the super chatter. By the way, I mean, I don't even know why you're so hostile with me. We haven't even really disagreed about anything most of the night.
Most of the night. No, I know, absolutely. But my thing with you is that like how, not even degrading, but like when I came on last, you were so hostile towards me and what I did. And there was no love in your heart from me.
That was good.
So as a Christian, you think it's okay.
You were a lying, deceiving prostitute. And you're like, Andrew, why weren't you just nice? Like, what are you talking about? Good.
I have a question.
It's good.
Didn't Jesus wash the feet of prostitutes or something?
By your own admission,
Jesus got
you were
Magdalene
a
washed his feet.
deceiving, deceitful, satanic prostitute by your own admission.
Satanic.
Satanic?
Wow, that's
Can I
a new
ask a
one.
question?
That's a new
Yeah,
one.
hang on, Nala. You told me.
Yes, Andrew.
You told me that you had faith in Jesus Christ then, that your parents were pastors, that you had faith then.
You're getting it wrong already. So to unmisquote
you were going to do it.
You can play the quote. You can play the clip if you want.
Let me finish, and you can respond. Okay. You said even then that you knew the truth, but you turned away anyway. Okay, so that you could basically make money. Now you say now, okay, well listen, that was all a character. I'm willing to believe that. I didn't ever say that you weren't playing a character. I'm willing to totally and completely believe you. Okay, but there's no way for me to determine that. I can only determine things based on what you say. So you say to me, well, I'm a degenerate prostitute who lies about everything, right? And it's like, okay, what did you want me to say to that? What would you have wanted me to say?
So number one, you completely misquoted me. I never once said back then that I lied. Number two, I never said that I knew what to do and knew how to follow Christ. I said that I was hurt by the church. I said that my dad was a pastor before I started. So there's the clarification on that. I was hurt by the church. I've been through three.
Your dad knew.
Can you play the clip? Because this is crap.
I recently watched the clip. Did you say that your dad's being a pastor when you're 18 years old? Yeah. This clip.
And I wasn't on only.
You said that I was a bad father because I would disown, unlike your father, right? Because I would disown my child based on some.
I'm not saying you as a father should condone what your kid was doing on OnlyFans.
You can respond.
But you keep interrupting what I have to say, so it's like.
I won't interrupt you. Okay, so just listen to what I'm saying. You literally made this comparison. You said you're a bad father if you do ABCD. I said, does your father know you do OnlyFans? You said yes, and he's fine with it because you take care of him, right? That's what you told me.
Oh, absolutely.
That your father was fine with you doing OnlyFans.
So,
is that a lie?
No. Listen. I don't think as a father you should disown your kid because of what they turn out to be. That's not their real plan. Do you think I wanted to be on the rest of my life? Absolutely. Once again, interrupting me, like I just said. So if you want me to finish my statement and respect me as an adult, that would be great. So anyway, my dad accepted me as his daughter. Yes, I was supporting him financially. Was that right that he told me and actually encouraging me to stay on? Absolutely not. I was saying it was wrong for you to disown your child just because of their life choices. You said that you would literally stop talking to them. And how right is that as a father to guide your child when the Bible literally says, train up a child in the way that they should go? But you said if your daughter did, you would completely disown her. So how is what you would do biblical?
I'm going to explain. It's called consequences. And there's always consequences. If you look at, for instance, the prodigal son had to come back home and humble themselves after they came back home, after they squandered their entire fortune. That's what they had to do. Okay, so the thing is like for you to say that if somebody is doing something that is horrific or satanic or something like this, that I have to allow them what? In my home? Do I need to allow them around my family? What do I need to do to capitulate to them, Nala, which would make me a good father?
In no way, shape, or form.
Let them experience the consequences of their own actions, because that's what a good father does.
A good father completely disowns their child, as in like stop speaking to them. I never once said that you had to let your daughter into your home, that demonic spirit into your home. But what about praying for them, sending them Bible verses, regardless of what they believe in? That is honestly what saved me. So you disowning your kid could actually have detrimental.
Bible verses saved you? No.
I said that my husband sent me Bible verses.
Be with saved you, right?
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
So when it happened,
what did he say?
Spirit into your home. But what about praying for them, sending them Bible verses, regardless of what they believe in? That is honestly what saved me. So you disowning your kid could actually have detrimental.
Bible verses saved you? No.
I said that my husband sent me Bible verses.
Be with saved you, right?
Can I interject?
Go ahead. Quick.
So when it happened to Mary Magdalene, right, and she was a prostitute and they were about to stone her, what did it say?
Mary Magdalene was not a prostitute.
Okay.
Is that fake news?
Totally fake news.
Fake news.
Mary
Okay.
Magdalene is not a prostitute.
So when they were going to stone the prostitute,
I have no idea where people can't come up with this.
Okay.
Mary Magdalene.
He hitting a swisher? I'm sorry, it looked like he just hit a blunt or something. Okay. Let me just interject for a second, for one moment. I think disowning your child because they've chose a path that is sinful is crazy. It's crazy. I think if anything, you disowning your child based on the fact that they chose a sinful path is going to further cement in their heart the decision that they made to turn away from God and pursue sin. So I think what she said makes sense in terms of why would you disown your child? Like, we're called to, bring our children up in the way of the Lord. But also what he said was very interesting as well in terms of the prodigal son. The prodigal son, yeah, he went off and went crazy and, squandered his inheritance and did a whole bunch of wild stuff. But he was humbled to a point where he came back. And that humbling, I think, is very important in certain situations. And who knows what that humbling looked like for her. She might have had a moment of humbling in the whole process of giving up millions of dollars and, all this type of stuff of her friends and family and her community finding out that she's a nude actress and all this type. Like, she might have had a moment of humbling in her heart. We don't know. But ultimately, I think when people are saying that they want to give their life to Jesus Christ and they want to come out of this sinful world and sinful environment that they're living in, I do think we should take a step back and be a little bit more patient as opposed to being critical, because we also have to remember that all of this is happening. I'm sorry, I got distracted. My daughter up there crying. All of this is happening, like this transformation is happening in public. Like everything that she's going through, this transformation, this process, her repenting, her trying to turn away from this lifestyle, this all is happening in public. And I don't necessarily think, and I've said this before, specifically about her story, I don't think that's the best thing. I don't think it's the best thing to go through this process this public. I'm not saying to just seclude yourself in your house. You should still be in community with people, but the scale that she's publicizing this, you're going to open the door to criticism. And is it really necessary at this point in time for you to expose yourself to this criticism when you're in a place, a very vulnerable place of coming out of that sinful lifestyle and seeking God and seeking his forgiveness, right? I don't know if that's the best thing, but at the same time, you could argue like, well, if she's not speaking up about it, then what about the other girls who are in this situation, who are living this lifestyle? What about them? What about her ability to reach them? And I see that side of it as well. So it's a tricky conversation. I don't think they need to be so confrontational, though. I don't think it needs to be an argument on either side. It doesn't need to be an argument.
Not a prostitute.
Question.
Okay, next question.
When it came to the prostitute and they stoned her, what did Jesus say?
He said,
Bro, what is going on here? Who is this guy? Who is Andrew Wilson? Boy, you out here smoking blunts and drinking Miller High Lifes? Talking about Christian. I'm trying to figure out who this dude is, bro. I'm confused. I'm genuinely confused now.
Without sin, cast the first stone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
she's basically saying,
Yeah,
like,
so you
who are
don't
you
get
to
to go
cast the
stone
stone
people to
on
death
someone
based on
like
sin.
like,
Yes,
who
I
are you
agree.
to judge her? Because we all have original sin.
Wait, stop. First of all,
righteous
I'm not
judgment is
judging-
an actual biblical
First
thing?
of all, I'm not judging her, right? I mean, we're going over a previous conversation where I now have been told that everything she told me in that conversation essentially cannot be trusted because she was a pathological liar at the time because she was playing a character. Now, I'm not, that's what she just said to me. So we're
Dude,
gonna
I was
go over
literally
the
dressed in a
conversation.
Spider-Man
That's fine.
outfit,
I
and
haven't
you
even gotten-
believe me?
I haven't even gotten
That says
to
a lot
any
about you.
judgment yet. We haven't even gotten to any judgment yet. Right now, we're just talking about the facts of the matter. There hasn't even been any judgment. And 3, it's perfectly acceptable for Christians to judge. Where this idea came from that Christians can't make judgments, especially value judgments, we make them all the time. Otherwise, how would you even know who was walking down the wrong path, who needed salvation, who did? How would you know any of these things if you couldn't make value judgments? You couldn't.
Righteous judgment has to do with coming out of love from your heart. In no way, shape, or form does whatever you have to say to me from the day I was dressed in a Spider-Man costume to right now have any love in your heart. You're just condemning.
Oh, you know my heart? You know my heart
I
now?
don't. I really
Yeah,
don't.
well then why would you make the accusation condemnation? All I did was repeat back to you what you said to me.
I
And
never
at the time
once
we
said
had
I
this
was demonic.
conversation, You were lying about everything, and all I'm doing is trying to get clarity.
Lying
Now,
about
you
being a
make the claim,
character
I know
on
what's in your
social
heart.
media. You're
I know
offended that
what's
I
in your
literally spoke the truth about, like, you really think that social media is real? Like, please tell me
heart.
that's
No,
not
what
true.
Do you mean? Listen.
Because I said that I
all
was
you're
lying
doing-
about what
all
I
you're
put
doing
on
is making
social
pivots.
media.
Just pivot. Why are you pivoting?
Pivoting off of
Right?
what? This is a
Yeah,
big part of the
So
topic.
listen, all we were discussing right now was that when we had a previous conversation on the Whatever podcast, by your own admission, everything you said to me potentially was a lie.
About
Perhaps
what?
Not everything you said. Stop, Nala. Just let me finish, and then I'll let you talk. Okay? Perhaps not everything you said to me was a lie. Perhaps not everything you said to me was a lie, but by your own admission, if you're playing a character and I shouldn't trust anything you say, then I assume everything you told me was a lie until I get it clarified otherwise. All I've been doing is just asking you clarification questions. You have been spurting out and upset because you feel like it's condemnation. I haven't condemned you for anything. We've just barely even started having a conversation.
Called you a Satanist.
You literally called me a Satanist
What,
and a
demonic?
prostitute. In no way, shape, or form was I a I mean, okay, so I understand
You were a
that showing
prostitute, yes, you
showing
were.
your body
That's
online
ridiculous.
is like selling yourself. Understood.
You were
But in no
sucking
way,
men's
shape, or
penises
form.
online. What are you talking about?
Did I not just admit that? Like,
Yeah,
what do you have
that's
a problem with?
prostitution. By any metric, that's prostitution. What are you talking about?
Okay, but like by
prostitution.
standards, prostituting is literally standing on the road, getting cars, and having sex
No,
with.
that's hook. What is a prostitute?
Is it not a
then, Nala?
prostitute?
No.
Where are you, bro, in your mind?
That's called hooking because you're trying to hook somebody to be a John.
No shot, bro. Say that.
Yeah, what is a prostitute? Nala?
A prostitute is someone who goes and stands on the side of the road, gets into somebody's car, and has sex for money. That is called
Okay.
a prostitute.
The buddies at the bunny ranch, they're not prostitutes.
Can you
That's a
Google it, Andrew?
prostitute.
Can you Google it? I don't have my
As long as
phone.
they go to a hotel room and there's a camera, it's no longer prostitution.
It's any job
that's
that
not
sells
true.
sex. That's
Okay.
For
So then
money.
what is the criteria of prostitution?
I'm not saying that I wasn't prostituting myself at all, but like you're defining it in a manner where I'm literally going to people's houses, grabbing money from them, and having sex with them. But yes, what I was doing was very simple. And yes, in a manner,
No, it was
prostituting myself.
prostitution.
All right. You are prostituting yourself. So I don't know. I don't understand how that's a question. You're definitely prostituting yourself. I think her husband went on the show also. Let me see what this is.
Contention that I had with Nala this evening was because of this feminist invasion, you also see tons of workers also who use Christianity as a shield from criticism rather than coming to the religion and the faith itself from a form of humility and repentance and trying to come to the faith the correct way. Instead, they're infiltrating and using it as a shield from any form of criticism. So that was the first contention that we had. And then the second contention that we had was over the idea of submission, what submission means. She thought that because I said that the man has not only the last say, but doesn't actually need to make justifications to his wife or significant other, that that somehow equated to slavery. And so, yeah, I wanted your takes on both those things.
It's interesting.
So I would definitely agree with you just on the fact that, church has definitely been more watered down. That's I mean, you have one side of like the religious Christians who don't actually have a relationship with God, but point fingers at all the people who do have a relationship with God. And also a big part of that is, though it's so quick for them to point out somebody else's sin, but rather justify their own sin. And then also within that, I would also go into the part where, like, Christians themselves, they'll go to like all these mega churches and stuff like that, and they won't actually get any, like, I guess you could say like meat. It's more just like milk. Yeah, milk, and like there's no substantial stuff. You hear more of a feel good pastor rather than like a convicting pastor. And in order to actually change your life, you need conviction. That's a big thing that the Holy Spirit gives you. And then as for the submissive thing,
How do you know when it's the Holy Spirit?
oh, once you actually have a relationship with God,
What does that mean, though?
Once you have a relationship with God, you know what conviction is, because it goes more than just, oh, I feel bad about that. Like it's hard for you to eat, it's hard for you to sleep, and you're constantly thinking about it because God's putting it on your heart. Just like
So
you, like
how would you know
if you
that-
had a strong relationship with God, He would be convicting you about how much you swear, where you do have the title as a Christian, because every
Your
single
wife
day,
called me a
and
I
she's
called her a
and
bitch.
trust me. That's crazy because I can't believe you talk to women like that. But like,
Gee, hang on. Your wife called me, and it's incorrect for me to call her.
no, it's incorrect.
No
It's
correction,
incorrect for
no-
both of
but-
you.
Oh, okay, but
Yeah.
but only I need the correction, right, sir?
Well, you are the man, and you are supposed to.
Oh, I
you,
see.
You are supposed to talk to a woman with respect.
Are Christian women supposed to be calling other Christian men?
Definitely not.
Because
Definitely
they
not.
disagree?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
So all night when
wait,
you've been throwing
He's
the
been
F word
name-calling
around,
you.
that was
Just to make sure-
okay.
hang on, just to make sure I got this right. When there's a provocation my way, the correction must come to me, never to your wife.
Well, I'm speaking to you man to man, and I'll speak with
And
her
I'm
after.
speaking to you man to man. You
Yeah.
need to correct your wife's attitude.
Well, watch your
Out of
language
control.
again. Again, if you are Christian, you would
Out of
watch your
control.
language.
She just called a random guy a and
Okay.
he called her back.
Well, you've been calling her
Well-
names all night. You called her a earlier. You
The
called her
most-
a.
Exactly.
The most
literally called me
swears.
a.
The most.
You've been saying stuff all
The
night.
most swear.
This is where I leave the chat. I don't know what they're doing on that show. I genuinely have no idea what they're doing on that show. I simply don't get it. I think they're trying to do something for entertainment and mix in this element of controversy by adding in the Christian element, but it's fallen short for me. So I'm going to leave it there. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Get in the comments. Share your opinion. I'm out, y'all.